These are the exact prompts we use to build 6- and 7-figure podcasts. One of our clients has generated over 600 clients from their podcast, contributing to not 1, not 3, but over $5 million in lifetime revenue. These are the exact prompts we use, so let's dive into it. Design a 12-episode podcast arc for a, let's say, financial coach. Structure it like a sales funnel, top, middle, and bottom with a blend of tactical, psychological, and philosophical content to attract ideal clients in the law niche with a common problem of managing their money, even though they make a lot. Side note, all of these prompts are in the description, so you don't need to download anything or give me your email. You just get them here for free. Okay, great, let's do it. ChatGPT is gonna do its thing. I'm gonna load up the next prompt. Okay, we're done. It's that easy. Now we have an entire season optimized for the marketing funnel, right? So that means that these episodes are going to attract ideal prospects in theory, right? Great. So now that we have the season, we need to create what's called the show assets, right? And so here and now, all I'm going to do is create the intro script. But what you can do is even use ChatGPT's image generator over here to even create your logo. Now, I wouldn't recommend this. I would hire a designer, but today's episode is how to use GPT for everything. So I'll throw that in at the end. We'll make the logo with GPT if you want to stick around. Okay, now you can use any of these, add-ons here if you'd like. But next up, we're going to create the intro for the episode. So rewrite this podcast intro as a 10-second. So I'm not going to rewrite it. I'm just going to actually say write a podcast intro for the podcast as a 10-second cold open with a Netflix style hook for my ideal audience. Also give me a 30-second canned intro for each episode. Okay, awesome. So now it's gonna write an intro. This stuff is just too good, man. This stuff is just too good. Okay, so you got your cold open. That's gonna be more for the YouTube videos. And then the 30-second canned intro, that's gonna be more for the podcast. Okay, so let's load up. Prompt number 3 is the content that you have to create if you actually want to drive business with this podcast. What that is going to be is taking your old dusty text-based testimonials, right? Those reviews that are say, oh, well, it was great to work with Jessica. She was the best, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff that's just on a website sitting there. You're going to interview your prospects, right? And so I'm interviewing a client who used my service to manage, let's do this, to manage their money and finally take control of their finances. Write an outline for a client interview that can be used as a testimonial. Boom. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's the client interview. That's how you actually sell with this podcast. Now we're on to prompt number 4. Okay, so for prompt number 4, we're actually gonna need an episode. So we don't have an episode because this podcast doesn't exist. Instead, I'm gonna have it come up with a script from one of our episodes. So let's create this episode. Why high income doesn't mean financial freedom. Sounds good to me. Can you act as a YouTube and podcast strategist and create an episode outline for this first episode? Include YouTube title, thumbnail text variations, a hook/opening, including YouTube title, thumbnail text variations, a hook and opening, and audio titles optimized for SEO based on the topics of this show. Cool. All right, here's your first episode coming at you. There's your episode outline from start to finish, including optional clips, including an outline, not just a script. If you wanted to create a script, it can do that too, including a cold open with a hook, including the podcast audio title, including the thumbnail variations, including the YouTube title. It is all here. Now, I had something different planned for step 5, but we're going to try something, and I don't know if it's gonna work, but let's do it. We're gonna try it right here, right now. We're gonna create a logo for this podcast using ChatGPT. Okay, so let's first come up with a name. Here are several podcast names. I like Beyond Billable. Okay, we're coming up with a name. Great choice. Thank you, ChatGPT. Can you create instructions for the ChatGPT image generator so we can tell it what to create for the logo? Let's do it. This is when I started this, I had no idea this would ever exist. I really didn't. I've been doing this by hand for a long time. This is crazy. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go do it. We're gonna go hop in the image generator. Perfect. Nice. Okay, it's getting started. We don't know if this is gonna be good or not. I have no idea. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's go back. Let's give it the logo. Here's the logo it made. Can you now put the podcast strategy into a doc, including the title, podcast description, logo, and overall strategy? Okay, we're almost done. All right, this is our podcast strategy in under 10 minutes using only ChatGPT with a logo. You now have no excuse as to why you don't have a podcast for your business, because AI can help you out with that. Now, of course, this isn't everything. This doesn't show you how to do the actual podcast, right? So if you need help with that, this next video is exactly that, because I would not be doing everything yourself if I were you, okay? So next up in the queue, right here on the screen, we have how to start your podcast. You're almost there. You got the ChatGPT strategy. Now we got to jump in to how to actually launch this thing. My name is Ryan Sullivan, Ryan R. Sullivan. If you want to get it right, make sure to hit that subscribe if you enjoyed, only if you enjoyed. And if you did, then I will see you next week. Peace.